Angela Merkel is expected to announce her bid for a fourth term as Germany's leader today. And that's ahead of her party's annual Congress, where it's thought she'll outline her strategy for winning the 2017 election. And she has a tough road ahead of her. Well, let's get more on this from artist Peter Alver, who is in Berlin for us. Hello there, Peter. So there's quite a controversy surrounding Merkel's policy, isn't there?
Well, Angela Merkel is certainly sticking to her guns when it comes, in particular, to the refugee crisis and how she sees it should be sorted out. She said that there will be no cap on the number of refugees coming to Germany. That's despite numerous calls for one from right across the political spectrum. She said that the only way that there will be fewer refugees coming to Germany will be when there's peace in places like Iraq and in Syria. Now, a little later on, she's expected to take to the stage in Essen at the start of her party's Congress, where it's almost guaranteed she will be putting herself forward as the candidate to run in next year's federal elections, and she'll also get the support of the rest of the delegates of her party. But elsewhere, she has come in for a lot of criticism. On the far right of the German political strata, we've seen the Alternative for Deutschland party making big gains, particularly in local elections, running on a policy of challenging Angela Merkel's attitude towards refugees at every turn.
We haven't faced such migrants flows before, and what we face right now has no relevance to the present rules. That's why it should be openly discussed that we should stop receiving refugees.
Our Chancellor has given up sovereignty of the country. She's given up our borders. She's given up our rules and regulations by simply letting everybody in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the migration crisis opens other questions. We know already 64% of Germans support an asylum limit, but they are not listened to.
Well, it's not just on the right, on the left here in Germany as well. Senior figures have been coming out and saying that they don't actually think Angela Merkel has any real plan when it comes to how to deal with the refugee numbers that she's welcomed in.
Chancellor Merkel doesn't have a plan, and that's very careless. She sent a signal that Germany will welcome a lot of people, which is one of the reasons why many people set out in the first place. But she had no idea whatsoever how to integrate them into our society. She put it all on the shoulders of German cities, towns, and communities. This is a huge issue because it fills German people with doubt and resentment.
Well, it's also not all happy families inside Angela Merkel's own coalition. It's her Christian Democratic Union party that she's at the Congress of on Monday. But they're also having a little bit of a spat with their sister party, who operate in Bavaria, the Christian Social Union, particularly with their leader, Horst Seehofer. Now, he said that unless that cap on refugees was put in place, then these two parties that have been tied together since time immemorial in modern German politics could be starting to split apart. He has in the past said that he would pull his support for Angela Merkel if she didn't do something about things like a cap on refugees. He's made these threats again, so we're going to be keeping an eye on seeing how that relationship develops over the next 10 months or so in the lead up to those German elections. But it's refugees that's back in the headlines right across Germany at the minute, most poignantly because of a serious case that's seen the arrest of a 17-year-old refugee in the southwestern German city of Freiburg. He's been charged with the rape and murder of a 19-year-old in that city, a 19-year-old who was volunteering at one of the refugee centres. This has really thrust the refugees crisis back into the headlines here in Germany. And the messages coming out from the Chancellor aren't really helping when it comes to stemming the amount of criticism she's received. When it comes to refugees, she said people should go out and meet them and talk to them. Of course, all very positive messages, but at the current climate and in the current climate, it isn't what the vast amount of German citizens want to hear from their leader.
Well, certainly, Peter, as we can see, a tough road ahead for Angela Merkel there. Thanks so much for bringing us this update from Germany.